Hello, hi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. We're gonna dive on in and get a little clarity when it comes to love. This reading is timeless. Whenever it finds you, it's the right time. Speaking of time, my battery light came on, so if this happens to go dark and there's a part 2, that's what happened. So let's begin. Always follow that inner divine guidance in you and try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound and based in love and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's begin. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. I feel like that was also at the bottom of the deck when I started shuffling. So you definitely have somebody who, whether you accept them back or not, I do feel like you do deserve an apology for something. And this is somebody who wants to apologize. This is somebody who has been praying for the right moment or praying for the right chance, praying for your forgiveness, or that they have the right words, the right timing to come towards you. This is somebody who wants your forgiveness. They want to return. They want to say they are sorry for not following through or showing up, for not giving you clarity or closure, for not communicating when they should, or for getting weird with the communication. This is somebody who has awareness of their actions, self-awareness of changes they want to make. I do feel like this is somebody who's thought about your situation in so many different facets, and almost like they took a moment and replayed it different ways. If only they said that, if only they went that direction, if only they had ... And that doesn't change the past. That doesn't change the situation. But I am getting that this person is a little lost in nostalgia land. And they're a little on the fence about future land. But at least in the now, they're conscious, which is a good thing. I do feel like this is somebody that is making a lot of changes. Let's see. Clarify apology, please and thank you. What do we need to know about this apology? Somebody wanting your forgiveness. I feel like for most of you, whatever happened here, you already forgave this person. Whether it was just that they acted like a dumbass or they were really, really mean. Like they really mishandled you and your beautiful heart. But I feel like your beautiful heart and your authentic soul knew. Maybe, it took a little while, because if you were really hurt, I do feel like some of you really went through it. And I feel like part of that was that you had to go through something on your own, and that sucked. I feel like a lot of you were dealing with a person that didn't even want to see your cry, or if they distanced themselves, then it wasn't the reality. They didn't have to see how their action or non-action affected you, but I do feel like this person energetically felt it. And I feel like you gained a lot of strength. I also feel like it was really strong for you to release this person and forgive, because that freed you up. That doesn't condone somebody's actions, but it looks like whoever this person is has learned a lesson, which is a good thing. If changes happen or not, I guess it's to be seen. So let's get another card. What is another message on apology, please and thank you? I don't even know what that is. What is it? Yeah, this person knows they effed up. They know they made some mistakes. They know that they even had a little bit of like victim mentality, like, oh, well, I wouldn't have done that if this wasn't going on in my life. It's the blame game, instead of somebody owning up to their particular situation and the role they played or did not play in it. This is somebody who had to get lost to be found. This is somebody that maybe always kind of made the same mistakes, but didn't have realization of why something was a repeating pattern in their life. And now this is somebody who gets it. They're like, oh, maybe I play a part of that. I also feel like some of you felt lost in the past, but you found yourself pretty fast. You found your strength pretty fast. You healed differently. I feel like I see the lemon thing. Sometimes people take those situations that are sour and, I don't know, just ride along with that sour energy, where I feel like you were the one that was like, oh, it's a little sour. How about we add some honey? Honey on the wound. And I feel like you take something that's thrown at you, but then you like really make it amazing. You're like, oh, okay, well, how can I make this situation amazing? I feel like maybe that was the difference. I kind of feel like that has inspired someone. Because if somebody was in this victim mentality, that's low vibration. It's lack mentality. Maybe there was a misunderstanding because of a mismatch in vibration, or real different situations you and this person had gone through in the past. So when you came together, there was a lot of your vibe that worked, and there were like different perceptions on how you were seeing the same situation because your experiences were very different. So let's get one more, please. There's one more message. See how I keep going back? I feel like that's almost this person's energy. I just saw somebody starting to text, and they're like, no, not today. Or picking up the phone, they're like, no, I don't know what to say. So I do feel like there's somebody who wants to move forward. I'm getting an energy really desiring to come towards you, but then they're stopping themselves. Maybe they're afraid that you're not going to understand where they're coming from, or what they were going through, or why they did something kind of inappropriate. Let's see. What is one message? One more from this deck. Yeah, somebody was cloudy. Their heart was cloudy, their mind was cloudy, their judgment was off, they made mistakes, they chose the wrong thing, they went down the wrong road, they took too long. This is someone who was in illusion land instead of reality. This is somebody who believed the illusions and the delusions and the scenarios and the what ifs more than what was actually happening, or being in the actual experience to see how it could unfold or what it could become with you. This is somebody who maybe was over analytical, but it could also be where somebody had cloudy judgment because they were around weird energies, or they listened to the wrong advice. Somebody who was just overall imbalanced in their life, had a distorted view on something because of a certain experience or overall experiences. And I feel like they created some conflict where it didn't have to be. They created a big old stormy situation. I also feel like this could have been resolved had somebody just face something head on instead of trying to finagle something or go around something. Just be direct, pull the Band-Aid off, address the elephant in the room. I feel like this person tippy-toed. Or I'm kind of getting that walking on eggshells. So maybe that was what somebody always had. Maybe somebody always like, you know, was overwhelming or reactive in their life, or even over emotional, or went cold, or ran away, whatever somebody's issues were. It's like they were projecting those issues from whomever else they're thinking about onto you, and that wasn't fair to you. Because I feel like your situation is not the same as whatever was clouding their judgment. So let's get clarity. Let's go to, let's do an angel number for you. What is an angel number? Helpful for the collective, please and thank you. One angel number on apology, mistakes, and cloudy judgment. 504. Sounds like a classroom. So 504. That does bring you to a 9, which is where you're almost complete with something. So hold on, I'm gonna bring my funky light over here so I can see. One day at a time. That's all you can do. I looked at that at 11:11. Maybe 11:11 is another number you see. All you can do is take something one day at a time. To get overwhelmed or presumptuous that you know what's going to happen in the future is not reality, because you're projecting there, or you're projecting the past instead of being on the page that you are on. Speaking of on the page, let's read the actual card. Patience, present. Maybe some of you are really present. Like, I'm getting like on a project, or when you are in somebody's vibration, when you are having a conversation, like you're present. You're listening and hearing. You make somebody feel, I'm getting heard, not misunderstood. Focus, daily effort, future, and mindfulness. The effort you put in today is what will illuminate your future. Focus on doing the right things today. That's really beautiful. And do not worry about what will happen tomorrow. Your daily efforts are building the foundation for tomorrow's success. What steps can I take today to progress towards my goals? And how can I stay focused on the present? If this person is not coming in your life or apologizing, that's out of your control. What's in your control is things that you can change. Also, there are two sides to every situation. So there might be something you need to apologize for as well. There might be mistakes that you made, or a role that you played made somebody feel some kind of way. And there were times when your own judgment was cloudy. So it's having self-awareness of anything you'd like to change and do different. Today's the day to begin. Identify one key task or action you can take today that will move you closer to your goals. Concentrate on completing this task and trust that each step you take is building your path forward. So there's something happening one step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Even just taking one step in a direction towards something you have a goal with is one step closer to getting there. One step closer than you were when you were just thinking about it. So this is one step at a time. Actions matching your thoughts and or perhaps your words. So yeah, let's go to the tarot. I think I want to use this one. It's kind of new. It's a little like that Hermit Tarot, but it is different. So I have found that this isn't really an upside down tarot deck. It's pretty much upright, but there's like an extra message in there. So let's see. Let's clarify all of these. First, let's clarify this apology. Let's dive a little deeper on this apology, forgiveness, return, and sorry. Please and thank you. What would be helpful for the collective to know? One apology. Yeah, somebody has the 8 of Swords. Somebody had a funky mindset. Somebody was in a situation, perhaps they were in an actual situation where they did feel trapped, where they felt stuck. They didn't know how to see a way through, or a solution, or a way around. There's always a different way of doing something with the 8 of Swords. The only thing that is keeping somebody stuck is the way they're thinking about themselves or their situation. Because 8 of Swords is generally where, somebody's bound or they have blindfold on. There's these swords around them, but the swords are not actually caging them in. If you go sideways, if you take one of those swords out and, cut what was binding you, cut some strings, it is one slight focus in a different direction that, unbinds somebody. It's just somebody believing they were trapped. Not actually trapped. I didn't follow my own inner guidance. Somebody was in their head too much instead of following their heart or trusting that they were given intuition, divine guidance to go in a certain direction, to do something or not to do that other thing, and they didn't listen. I feel like somebody got bad advice. I keep getting that, and I don't know what that is. I feel like somebody asked somebody for advice, and that person didn't know what they were talking about. And I feel like there was somebody not telling the truth around whoever this is. I didn't follow my own inner guidance, and now I feel stuck in the mud. And it's hard to see a way out when everybody says, this is normal. Yeah, people say people were giving somebody bad advice. I even feel like for some of you, if this had anything to do with somebody that was trying to cloud somebody's judgment, or really being unforgiving on somebody's mistakes, making them feel bad for something, I kind of feel like there was somebody who was ready to make some changes in their life, maybe changes towards you. And if somebody wasn't used to or didn't want to see somebody change, if that had any kind of connection with them, somebody could have given selfish bad advice because they had their own selfish intentions. Didn't follow my own inner guidance. So let's see. Hopefully they're following their inner guidance now. Let's go to this tarot and clarify that. Clarify the 8 of Swords. Why is the 8 of Swords coming through? Well, you got the Magician, Virgo/Gemini. So if somebody was stuck, well, the one that's going to figure out how to get unstuck is definitely the Magician. And the Magician is not afraid to try it 2,084 times if they have to until it works. This is somebody that tries it 4 times and they're like, no, it's just not going to work. I have to stay in this cage. The Magician's like, there's another way. There's, a different tool we can use. There's a different solution. The Magician is past that Fool where you have an experience and now the ideas start clicking. You're like, oh, I could make something with that. And then you start gathering all of the stuff around you. This is saying that whoever this is that was stuck has everything around them accessible to them or within them to change a situation. The first step is to choose that they don't want to be where they were stuck, or they don't want to do something continuous in a way where they didn't feel growth, or they were mentally trapped, going around in circles but not really getting anywhere. So if the Magician is coming through, it's somebody that is figuring out a solution, figuring out how to manifest a different situation in their life that they are proud of, that their heart is calling them towards. If it was this way, it's somebody that's pulling that wool over their own eyes. Or it's somebody that's that shady salesman kind of energy that gives them that little bullshit speech that you say in the elevator to get them to buy their product or buy their advice or buy their reason for blah, 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 blah. But there's shade behind it. There's not authenticity. It's something that's going to break. You know, it's selling somebody a piece of junk, and this person knows that it's a load of ... and they sell them on that anyway. It's somebody who has an unauthentic energy towards manifestation. It's somebody upside down that would rather manipulate a situation to have something out of selfish desire than be in that authentic spiritual energy where there's an involvement and an allowance, where there's that divine guidance coming through that isn't always what somebody wants. It's, oops, I just heard the Rolling Stones. Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. But you can try sometimes, and you might find you get what you need. So sometimes you get what you need. It's not what you want. And when you allow that manifestation energy, it's having that truth where you can picture, like, not low vibes, high vibes of how it could possibly be, and then you let go and you forget about it. You release your hold and you give it space to work itself out. You put that energy into what you can control, which is you. That's where the changes start. Or that's where this person needs to start with the changes. Then that reflection on the next day, the reflection on what's around them automatically changes. The Magician. Let's clarify mistakes. There's something about this person's intuition really coming through like an epiphany, because you got that as above, so below. So you have to take that insight and ground it into earth to really make it like flourish, because you have that beautiful garden right there. There's something that can bloom and grow. But I'm getting that there's something that has to be a solid foundation in the right fertile ground. And there's something about a conversation, because both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So it's a mercurial energy. So there's something about truthful conversation, realistic conversation, and there's something about laying it all out on the table and then seeing. The upside down Magician is the one that keeps that, like, you know, I don't know card games other than these kind of cards, but it's somebody that has like a weird extra hand, like an extra, I don't know, it's kind of like a, I don't know, they have something like hidden in their pocket to kind of cheat on the game. That's kind of what I get if that's upside down. And maybe that person, or whoever this Magician is going to get a lot further if they just lay it all on the table, speak their authentic truth. That makes everything so much easier. Clarify mistakes. Why is mistakes here? Tell us about the mistakes. Owning up to mistakes. Page of Cups. Since I met you, I started receiving creative ideas to start new projects, and I can't wait to share them with you. I feel like you talked about some projects you wanted to do with this person, and they never followed through. I feel like some of these mistakes were made because they were receiving divine guidance and not listening, or just not really mature in their emotions yet, or mature with you, or didn't even get to the point where this particular relationship could get to maturity, because the page is just kind of immature. They're learning, they have potential. This relationship or this connection had a lot of potential, but if it wasn't followed through with, or, you know, built brick by brick on a solid foundation, then, you know, it never got past puberty. So I also feel like somebody does want to come in with that Page of Cups energy. They want to make you a love offer. They want to start back at the beginning, or they want to at least I just heard say I love you. It's a beginning. It's like falling in love energy. Having a crush. Seeing where it goes. You know, getting past date one. It could also be that this person just wants to send you a little message that shows you the truth of their heart. Especially if they never expressed that to you before. What would clarify? Page of Cups, please and thank you. Ooh, if they want to come in and like send a message, they're going to come in without the blinders on. This is somebody who has confidence in what they're thinking now. This is somebody who has an open mind, and this is somebody that knows how to think on a dime. They have a conversation. There's somebody coming in fast and they want to talk. Look how fast that horse is. Even the tree is blowing in the wind that's created by this night. It's usually an air sign. So if somebody has had a little sparkle in their heart and is, even if it feels really new, a little bit nervous to go into something different or go towards you, and they don't know how you're going to feel either, this is somebody that knows they need to have a conversation. This is somebody that would lay all the cards on the table. Knight of Swords comes in fast, thinks clearly, as long as they don't have those blinders on and they back up a little bit to see the bigger picture. And if they only saw the bigger picture, that at least gave them the insight on where to focus and where to move. Confident with maybe not even what they're going to say after hello, but that it's starting there. So let's see why somebody's judgment was cloudy. Where did I put those cards? I don't know where I put the cards. Oh, here. Tell us about cloudy judgment, please and thank you. And I am getting that today's particular reading, the Lovers, is a very kind of a specific situation. Sometimes I get, you know, some of you are getting new love and some of you are having a reunion, and this seems like it is not for a bigger group of you. It feels like I'm connecting to a smaller group that is a more specific, although different for each of your situations, but kind of a generalized situation of somebody from the past. And it does look like somebody loves you. Whatever I said, where they love you. You got the Lovers. This is somebody who feels like you opened up their heart. You love them even when their heart was cloudy, or their mind was confusing. This is somebody who feels very deeply for you. The Lovers is a choice. Somebody had to make the choice to love, to follow their heart, to know that their brain will catch up. This is also a situation that has divine energy around it as guidance, as long as it's listened to and trusted. The Lovers is where one puts that self-love into one's self, that they put love into somebody else, but also there's no strings attached. The Lovers, you want someone to be there because they're all in. Not just half in, or not just there in presence, but not in their mind or not in their heart. Otherwise, why are they there? The Lovers is where it's whole. It's the choice to be together. And it's also that connection each individual has with their free will and with their connection to source, because there's usually a big angel there of protection, guidance, love. It's a Gemini. So you have a lot of Gemini energy, a lot of air energy. This one could also be, you know, Aquarius or Libra. The connection I have with you is so deep and profound on all possible levels. Wow. So, I mean, somebody is out of illusion land and recognizing that their connection with you is sexual, spiritual, emotional, and intellectual. That's a pretty special love. I just think of, this is no ordinary love, no ordinary love. What's that? Sade? You know, the Lovers is upside down. It's where somebody wants someone to feel a certain way so bad that they have their hands on it and they're not just allowing it to be, which is not fair to anyone. And if, for some of you, you want communication, you do want to see somebody, you know, do better than they were in illusion land, you believe in them, and you want somebody to have happiness and manifest their goals in their life, but other than maybe having them back in your life for a little communication and an apology, some of you don't want somebody back. And if that is the case, and that is a closed door, I do feel like there is a healing in that partnership, whether it's just a little bit coming together and, hey, how are you doing? How have you been? Or it's an actual deep conversation that helps you. I still feel like this is coming in for you. Because I feel like if you're here watching this channel, you don't want an ordinary love. You want something that is deep and special and different, that values how freaking phenomenal your soul is, your heart is, your mind is, and your sassy is. So you should be with someone who cherishes that, knows how valuable you are, how special you are, and that they are all in. Somebody who's also real, but it's not a fairy tale. The reality is so much better. And with this here, you have that openness that you know what you kind of want to manifest, but then, hey, if, you know, God has something better, if the universe wants to provide something that you haven't thought of, you know, let it come in. So I kind of feel like some of you are going to be way more than pleasantly surprised on what the universe has in store for you, or who that person is. And if this doesn't come in right away, you are gifted some time to really learn who you are, to really start to work on those projects and goals and dreams that you thought of. You want to travel the world? Why aren't you? You want to start a business? What's your first step? I just heard build a house. You want to build a house? Maybe you start saving for it. You want to make a move or be in a different environment and you're not happy where you are? How do you take one step to get out there? What is your, the first step towards that plan? If some of you want to pick up an instrument, pick up a skill, go back to school, whatever you've been thinking about, and you're just thinking about it up there, how do you look up some information, talk to some people, see how it could possibly happen? For some of you, you have been through the ringer and you don't want to be in a relationship, even though you're here watching a relationship reading. And maybe it's you really learning how to make some moves in spiritual, magical energy in your own life. Really learn who you are. So that however this may or may not come in your life, you being in anybody's life, friend, family, co-workers, strangers, is a blessing, because you've been vibing, working on yourself, and your vibration is a loving gift to anyone you come in contact with, whether it's just holding the door open for a stranger or a beautiful friend, soulmate in your life that will be there till the end. This is one of those readings. Love readings always like, I don't really even know what I say. I don't know what messages come through. And it's interesting, especially with love readings. I feel like I get, like in Men in Black, and they get to the end and they're like, you don't remember anything. I feel like that's like, like the only reason I even know how to do the titles for my readings is because I watch them to get the music before I actually make it public. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know what I say. So, let's get a spirit message. Wow, that didn't even hesitate. So, let's see. I have to look this way. Wait, what is... Oh, no, I need my glasses. It's a big old confusing mess at the end here. I look like I'm going to read you a spooky story. What does it say? If you find... Where's your Eight of Swords? Where are you? You saw how fast that came out. I didn't really even start to shuffle. And whatever I said in this reading, if you find yourself stuck in a situation that you are unhappy with, ask yourself, why are you still there? Is it fear of the unknown? I don't think so. That was like my scary, it's like what, this light makes me look funny. But is it fear of the unknown? Because if you don't like where you are, what about having that wide-eyed, bushy-tailed wonder of what it could be? And trusting yourself, trusting God and Source that you're going to figure it out, especially if you don't like where you are. Anything out there is probably better. And if it feels a little odd, trust yourself again and know you will be guided out of anything odd or weird. Leaving toxic situations or people can be the best thing you can do for your soul and spirit. Be fierce. I feel like I ended this on a soapbox. Be fierce, man. Look at how strong you are. Really believe in yourself. Believe in God. Have faith. You can do it. You don't have to get overwhelmed by handling everything at once. Big changes are hard. Especially, when you are used to something. That can be overwhelming alone and get somebody stuck. Like, oh, what do you do? Like, I just think of like moving. I used to live in Manhattan. Just to think about, oh no. How am I going to get the first month, last month security? What if they don't like animals? How do I get all my stuff? How do I park the truck on that weird street where nobody can go around? How do I get that shit in the elevator? How do I get the movers to move that thing over there? I mean, it's so much. Just like that's the kind of energy I'm getting. But it's one step at a time. First you find the place. Then you figure out what days you can go in the elevator. Then you make that phone call you need to. Then you book the truck. Then you ask your friends to, hey, you want to help me move some boxes? I'll buy you pizza and beer. And you get whoever you can to help you. But to just sit there and think about it, yet look around you and you're like, oh, gosh, those neighbors are loud. Or, this real far commute from my job and it takes me an extra whatever hours every day. Or, gosh, my roommate you know, the weird vibe all the time over there, always partying or always coming home late, leaving the stinky socks on the blah, 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 blah. You get the hint, you know, whatever it is that's like irritating you. You're the one in control of how to change it. You know, got a roommate with stinky socks in a weird situation over there, and maybe they don't want to move. Maybe that's a stubborn roommate. Maybe that's someone who has bad advice. And maybe it's you that has to be the one that moves. Or be a badass and say, you know what? You have 2 months to get out. Peace. Whatever it is. I don't even know what I said in this reading. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I hope it was helpful. I hope this was helpful. I love you so much. You can do it. And if that makes no sense and you're like, dude, I always stand up for myself. Like, I'm good. I make changes. You know, I'm pretty well-rounded. I go with the flow. I trust God. I trust the universe. Then whatever I was, you know, spewing out before, whatever those messages are that maybe resonated as far as your connection to someone else, maybe that was giving you a little insight on why a certain situation or person was so confusing to you. Maybe that's what they're learning. Maybe that's what somebody else was going through. And maybe that alone, if you have lack of communication, is helpful. And maybe it's also you sending somebody a prayer that they get some guidance and they have the strength and that they are happy, and you know that you're sending them good vibes, that they just figure it out, and then let it go, and then go to that homework card that you had and be in the today that you have, and make one step towards that thing that makes your heart sing, that brings you joy, that you're curious about. Because curiosity, I always see it's like baby excitement. You know, if you don't have anything that really gets you so excited, start with the baby excitement, which is just curious. What are you curious about? And start there. And with that, I bid you adieu. I'm going to go inside now, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for blessing my life and for being on this journey together with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.